Triceratops. I've got the itch to reorganize. So I'm starting with my scrap pile of clay. I need to get rid of some old clay that I shall not name the brand here. I have already filmed some of this, and you'll see what happened to this one and why I have abandoned this one. So join me as I mix all this scrap clay up and turn it into something useful. The majority of this lunch meat dirty eraser, that's foreshadowing, mix of colors is going to actually have a good practical use to it. Let's do this. No, you can't force it. You can't force that. Let's fix my scraps and see how many of these turn grey. You're turning grey. You're turning grey. You're most likely turning grey. You're probably turning grey. Maybe grey. Well, let's find out. Brown with sparkles. It's so nice looking. It's so on brand for Sally too. Really bland black. It's a really dull. Oh, it's dark. This one isn't grey. It's poo brown. I wear the cheese. The cheese does not wear me. Reference, where's it from? Behold, a colour I'll actually use. It's green. It's a really nice green. It's a nice colour story I got going on, hey? Green. So this is my little colour mixing I did the other day to try and find my signature pink. That just sat there and made the paper really oily. And I was going to mix it into this orange and pinky mix, but I think in light of the green working okay, I'm going to try and make just a pastel pink. And that will be something that I'll actually use. So let's see how this one turns out. Ooh, she crumbly. She's going to take a lot of conditioning. However, I just wanted to show you how freaking cool it is. Now I'm learning a lot more about quality of polymer clay earrings and how you need to get that flex after baked. So they need to be flexible but not crack. And one of the things that I need to work on is my conditioning of clay. So I know that you can't use clay in this condition to bake or it will all fall apart. So even though it's got a real cool, rugged, crumbly texture that I think is quite abstract and quite cool, it would bake real bad. So let's just keep going on the conditioning of this one and see what happens. It's starting to look like lunch meat. Ham and prosciutto or something gross. Okay. But we're getting an idea of what the colour will turn out to be. It might be salmon because there was some orange in some of those mixes. There was a bit of blue too, but we'll see what happens. So a tip I've read about conditioning your clay, if you fold it and it breaks like this, it is nowhere near conditioned, which I knew anyways, but look at that. We're going to wait until that's a nice fold, like this green. Although that could still do with a bit of conditioning. I just got it to a fully mixed state. So let's get this one up to scratch. Oh, it's getting better. Look. It's still cracking, but nowhere near as bad as it was. Look at that. And it's far less lunch meaty. I mean, it's still a little bit lunch meaty like in cartoons, but it's actually a really cute pink. Okay, the colour is pretty much all incorporated, except for a few little areas. It needs more conditioning still, because there's still a little bit of cracking on the side there. So I am going to drop it down from the higher setting down 2 and fold it less and see if that helps move the conditioning along. I can't do this one-handed, so you're just going to have to imagine that I'm doing that, all right? So the pink turned out to be a really pretty colour. Like, it's a little bit different on the screen. It's a little bit more paler than what you can see here. And, oh, look, it still needs a bit of conditioning. And I think this one dried out a bit, so I might actually have to use some conditioning oil, I think it is, before actually using it. But at least it's all mixed and it's there ready for me to go when I want to use it for a project. And I'll just condition it a bit more because it's going to need conditioning again when I start to work with it. Okay, so next is this one. Brown and green. How khaki do you reckon we're going to get? All right, let's see what happens. Oh, that looks really pretty. I like that teal right up against the bronze. I don't even know how to explain this colour. I like it. Not on camera, but in person I like it because it's almost galvanized metal colour with a green tinge. Like, it's kind of harlequin almost. Something bright and colourful next. Ooh, that's a pretty spot. And like this little pink and blue yellow moment. And then the other side is like vomit. So that's pretty there. Keep going. Don't be fooled by the pretty colours going in, because this is what you get. Dirty erasers. Very dirty erasers. It's a beautiful colour story. I love it. Okay. Oranges. That's got to give me a bit of a nice colour at the end. Like, there's a little bit of blue in there, but it shouldn't be enough to do that. What do you reckon? Oh, all this pink and orange is not sculpy, and it is gross. Look at how sticky. Yeah, okay. Okay, I know I said none of this would go to waste, but this is so sticky. Like, you can just move it with your hands, and I'm having a real bad sensory experience from it. So I think this one's just gonna, I know it's a waste. I'm not gonna be able to use this for anything. Sorry. So we've got have a lot of white, pink, a little bit of gold. I'm gonna add these little scraps in there as well and see what happens. I feel like that's the catchphrase for this video is, okay, let's see what happens. It's going to be grey or similar. Not where I thought this colour was going. It looks a little yellow on camera. It isn't. It's more, I suppose it is a little bit, a nice pale grey. That reminds me of like a moon. Maybe we should do a space theme. Do little dimples in it. Not with my finger, with a smaller dotting tool. Sprinkle on some and rub in some pearly mica powder. That could be cool. I'm going to get rid of these dimples now. I'm getting into the colours that are going to turn really grey. Like that is going to be grey and big. That's going to be grey. That's potentially going to be khaki. Oh, this one's going to give us something. Maybe I'll do these separate. That's going to take me forever to do. Lunch meat again, but really disgusting lunch meat. Not a colour I'll ever use. Doing the big kahuna next. Khaki. I just turned into a bowl because it's so soft. And this one, which is going to be very similar to this one. And this one, which is also going to be very similar to this one. Oh yay, another grey. Last one. Too thick, too thick. So crumbly. Okay, we've got everything mixed up. I'm going to save these ones because they're ones I could potentially use. Again, these ones here we are going to use to make blanks of all my cutters. Now, I have sectioned them into micro and mini, midi and small, medium large, extra large, overflowing, and others. So we're going to make blanks of all of these. That's the plan. And we're going to put them all on the tiles so that I can bake them. And I can put them in a container. I need another container. And bring them out when I want to work out what kind of earring I want to make. Yeah. Okay, so another thing that I want to focus on with my ugly colours, look at that texture on the top, is rolling out to the right thickness. So Google tells me it needs to be, shit, I just lost it. I just had it. I just lost it. 1 sec. 3.175 millimeters. How? I've got this guide. I wonder how thick that is. I'm going to measure that and see what that is. So this is a rolling guide for a reason because it is pretty much 3 point maths. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to start with that and then I'm going to finish it with this and get that as my depth guide. I wonder how it's going to work doing it on the square. This is a real bad lighting situation because the light that's behind me, if you can hear snuffling, I've just got home. My dog is aggressively inspecting me with the sniffs because I saw other dogs. Puppy, have you got all the sniff out? Is that it? Is that like a little seal tapping me with your nose? Don't lick my dress. Hi. Oh gosh. Okay, so back to this lighting situation. Oh, you know why? No. Oh, it's still bloody. Anywho, so I'm still doing this. All my grey into blanks. I'm taking the clay that I rolled the other day. Still nice and soft. I'm using my depth guide. I'm just going to roll it out to the exact depth so that we have a consistent clay piece. So all I'm doing is using those ugly colours I rolled the other day, and I'm cutting one of everything to see how they bake. Now these ones, they have some patterns on them, so you've got to plunger them to get the pattern on them. A nice skeleton haul for you guys. Okay, I'm going to keep going with this, with these, with unconditioned already. All of these. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put them all. Oh, look at that for filmography. Over there to bake, to see what they all look like when they're baked. Yep. Right, so we're finished. We've cut every one of my cutters up. I got some of my mini to micro ones out. Those ones I've kept aside because I'm going to need some cornstarch for those. And that's all the scrap I had left. So I'm going to keep that as is for when I get new cutters, and I'm going to do the same. Now I need to work out a way to organise these so I can find them easily. You can see where I've put my thumbnail through some. Oops. Yeah. So I'll bake these next and then I'll work out how to organise them. Can't remember what I showed you last because it was a while ago and I haven't done any filming of this little project for a little while. But these are all my blanks, all cut out and baked. They're all my blanks. And I have this little plastic thing that I've organised. I mean, it's not where I want it to be eventually, but then what I do is whenever I want to, there's a shadow everywhere, sorry. Whenever I want to play around with a new earring idea, I get out all the shapes and I put them out on the bench. I'll show you. I can play around with shapes like this. Now, I haven't made earrings like this. I actually really like this one that I put together real quick. Like that. Another thing I found when I've made a slab, I have been able to use these blanks to see how much out of a slab I can get out with the cutters. Does that make sense? Doesn't even make sense to me and I was saying it. Yes, it's been a long day. But yeah, so such a good way to utilise my scrap clay. And as soon as I get more cutters, I am going to use the leftover stuff that I have and I'll cut them straight away and bake them. Another cool thing with doing this is I had to make a flamingo and I knew I wanted to sculpt a flamingo on a base. And having the blanks there, I was able to put the blanks together to get the basic shape of a flamingo and then sculpt it on the base of the earring, and I was able to come up with those. Legs and eyes are going to come on after, once it's baked. I didn't want to stuff up, so I want to do that in paint before I top coat. But yeah, so doing the blanks, I was able to do this custom pair of earrings, able to play around with the blanks to find a shape that I thought she would like, and that's what I came up with. A whole heap of little buttons on there. Zoom in too close, you can see all the mess. Yeah, so really good idea. I'm so glad I did that. I'm sure I'm not the first person to do that either. I'm the kind of person that if I don't see it in my face, it doesn't exist anymore. So this helps me see it in my face. Hello, Mr. Gingerbread Man. So yeah, that was it. Real good idea. Dog. Puppy. Oh, you got itch. Oh. It's a bit aggressive, isn't it? Say bye to everyone. Bye, everyone. Okay. Excellent idea, Sarah.